Hi, I am going to just take a couple minutes to explain this grammatical term, persons. So in Spanish, when we are conjugating verbs, as you will be aware, we often break them into 6 people, as it were. We say yo, whatever, and then tú, and then we put these 3 in the same place. Usted, and then we do the we, the nosotros, we do the vosotros, and then we do the ellos, ellas, again, 3 here, 3 categories here. And that is how we conjugate verbs. So in class, you might be a little confused sometimes when a teacher is referring to yo, whatever, or tú, or the él, he, she, usted, and sometimes it. Sometimes they're referring to these people, but other times they're referring to what we call a person. They're saying the first person singular, or the second person singular, or that's the third person plural, and you're thinking, is that the yo, tú, él? Why can't they just refer to one of these? So I just very quickly want to explain what persons means. That first person, second person, third person. It's really, it's like zooming the camera out. It's kind of more infrastructural than these categories. It's kind of out here, as it were, and it's pointing generically. Let me explain. Okay, so these. I, you, he, she, we, those are the subject pronouns that we use to conjugate verbs. But really, the yo is referred to as the first person singular. The reason we have this generic grammatical term, instead of just saying yo, is because, as you will see, it might not always be yo. You might be conjugating a verb into the first person singular, which, but you're not referring to the subject as being yo. So a professor or a teacher might say, well, you conjugate it into the first person singular, and then you know, as it were, it's the yo form. It's the yo necesito, yo whatever it is. But they're getting behind the subject pronoun to the general grammatical term. It makes most sense by the time you get to the third persons. I'll explain. So that's the first person singular. The tú we refer to as the second person singular. Now, the él, ella, usted, we refer to the third person singular. Okay, but it's also, we use the third person singular not just for él, ella, usted. We use that grammar form. We use the form of the verb when we're talking about it, you know, like the cloud moves, la nube mueve. We're not talking about he, she, or usted. We're talking about the cloud. So you might say, well, what verb? How do I conjugate the verb for the cloud? The professor will say it's also in the third person singular. So they're giving you a grammatical category for the conjugation of the verb, but not when the subject is he, she, or usted. The subject is the cloud. And he'll say, well, use the third person singular. And so he means, yes, use the verb conjugated the same way for él, ella, usted, but he's not saying, you know, él, ella, usted. He's saying use the third person singular. So this is what persons are. They're the grammatical term to describe, as it were, the categories of the conjugations. Let me just say then the rest. If those first 3 are first person singular, yo, second person singular, you, third person singular, él, ella, usted, it, then nosotros becomes the first person plural. Why? Well, you can think of it as you and someone else. So it's not just first person singular anymore. You're now multiple. You are a we. So the first person, you, number one, has just become more than one. You've become a we. You're a first person plural. Same with you. When you becomes vosotros, it's you and them. It's y'all in Spain. And that is the second person plural. Because now it's not just you single, it's you with others. It's you plural. So it's the second person plural. And then, same pattern, the he, she, it, you. It's no longer just he, it's them. It's not él, it's ellos. Okay? It's not usted, it's ustedes. So it's no longer singular, it's now simply third person plural. So those 6 persons are the grammatical references, the grammatical